It's the obligatory review video. We'll get right into graphing and how to graph land and land biomes for rain and temperature. So when you do not that kind of graph. All right, so in your graph, you want to insert a screenshot. Now I did mine in slides, and in slides you can copy and paste things. This is actually, I found, a lot easier on the iPad because you can zoom in on slides and move and manipulate and type far more easily than I did on the computer. But you want to insert your graph, not graph, into there, whether or not you did a PDF photo markup and just drew on a picture, or you did the slides version like me. So that gets in here. And then we can do some comparisons. And so what we can see right away is that the tropical forest has a ridiculous amount of rain, but also the smallest temperature band. So it's biggest and smallest, depending on the category. And that really answers question one. It's both things. Now, biodiversity is the number of different kinds of living things found in an area, and tropical forests on land have the most because life needs water, and they have the most water consistently. And they're unchanging temperatures because they're tropical. They don't even have winter, means it's really easy to adapt to. The weather is almost always the same. There's always water. It's always nice. Unfortunately, because of all that biodiversity, it's always crowded, and there's always something that wants to infect you or eat you. So that's the hard part in the tropical forest. Why do they get so much rain? Well, you can look at the video on the next slide, but being near the equator really helps with evaporation. With the video we watched before, talked about how they make their own chemicals to seed rain clouds and actually build their own rain. And the wind is blowing the right way. That's really critical, because if you're at the equator, we're not. We're right above the equator. That's why we're not tropical. Winter is an amazing thing. It cuts down on biodiversity for things like bugs. But tropical forests are at the equator, but deserts are also there because the wind is blowing a different direction. And so the Minute Earth video on the left really does a great job getting into that. It's a little complicated. And the video on the right is the one we already watched about how tropical forests seed their own rain. Deserts and tundra are dramatically different, hopefully you know, in their temperature. So if you pull up their graphs, you can see they both get little rainfall. That's a similarity. But their temperatures, oh my goodness, are way different. The desert's coldest night barely overlaps with the tundra's hottest day. However, deserts and tundra both get very little rain. Tundra manages to stay wet and soggy because of permafrost, the ground being permanently frozen traps the water that does fall near the surface. And so it's a big soggy mess in the brief summer in the tundra. They also both experience extreme temperature changes. So those big temperature swings are insane. I remember one winter in college, we went to the deserts in California, and it was awesome because it was 80 degrees and it was January and it was great. But at night it snowed. So not only did we have to have shorts and t-shirts, we also had to have, coats and hats and mittens and gloves and really thick sleeping bags because the desert is a ridiculous biome and you have to adapt to the cold as well as the heat. So which biome had the greatest temperature range? It was actually the tundra. Desert was close at 31 degrees Celsius range, but 38 degrees Celsius, that's 100 degrees Fahrenheit difference between the tundra's hottest and coldest days. So in Fahrenheit land, the tundra on a warm day might get 50 or 60 degrees, but on the coldest days in the winter, it could be negative 50. It's just insane. All right, after that, we had our videos that might have helped with more tundra and desert facts. And tomorrow, I want you to pick 2 Edpuzzle videos. I have 4 that I'll put down, and each has 3 or 4 questions, or each has 3 questions in this case. You can see that. Just pick 2. Whereas on Friday, for section 3, for freshwater on rivers and lakes, I want you to do both. These are Minute Earth videos. I really like the one on deltas. Compares river mouse in the ocean to belly buttons, and it actually works and makes sense. So that's what we're working on. I'm very happy to see so many of you still plugging away. If you have questions, email is best. If you want to have a little fun, I have a hidden back channel that we use for Zoom meetings. Didn't have too many people in today's Zoom meeting. It's every Wednesday at 3, and the link is always in Google Classroom. But I would like to have pictures of spring, not memes this time. I want pictures of spring. So how do you find that? You click the cycle day, and that takes you to this shared slideshow. Now, you have to have a Juniata County School account, so even though the blog is public, we can't just get random people in here. And then add a nice picture of spring, not fake pictures, not memes. Give me a real photo of spring, flowers, happy green plants, baby bunnies, I don't know. But get outside, maintain a safe distance from people, keep that 6 feet, but get outside and get a picture of spring. Thank you, and I hope you are well.